driving the green agenda. Over the next 30 minutes, this programme will look at the innovative approaches of UK businesses. As environmental issues grow in significance across the business agenda, manufacturers are under increasing pressure to find innovative new solutions to meet the demand for low-emission and environmentally friendly products. Globally, more and more consumers are concerned about the environmental impact of the products they use. Therefore, developing eco-friendly goods and services is a way to capture new markets and protect current ones.
Well, Dart is a privately held company owned by the Dart family based in Michigan, and they started their operation in 1937 with a small machine shop there making things like plastic key cases and steel tape measures and so on. And that was until the 1950s when we started experimenting with expanded polystyrene, and we started to produce a range of high quality insulated foam cups. And then in 1960 the Dart Container Corporation was formed, so we've been in business for 50 years now. We've got 20 factories right across the world in the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Mexico, Argentina and Australia, and we employ about 7,500 people. We're a vertically integrated company, so we take control of a lot of the processes, including manufacturing our own ink and packaging film, our production equipment. We look after our own transportation and also have recycling services. So we produce around about 600 different products and sell about 125 of those here in the UK.
Well, Xoc's been around now for the better part of 30 years. It started life with a requirement to clean the Sea King Air Sea Rescue helicopters. They wanted to be able to clean them, knowing that it was environmentally friendly, so they wanted a water-based detergent, because that's what we do here. We manufacture a highly refined detergent which cleans any form of gas turbine engine. So, for example, today, when you turn on the light, when you boil a kettle, that electricity invariably is being powered and generated by a gas turbine generating capability. And those gas turbines need maintenance. And part of that maintenance is keeping them clean and efficient, and therefore obviously keeping the carbon footprint as low as possible. From there also, Xoc touches on the life of everybody. When you go on holiday and you fly in an aircraft, most likely that aircraft engine, that jet engine, has been cleaned to ensure it operates at its most efficient mode. That it's clean, it uses the minimal amount of fuel, and once again keeping its carbon footprint as small as possible.
Eurotec offer a series of unique polymer injection systems, and these include slab lifting, a system called deep injection, which is polymer ground stabilization, and we also have a unique product called a power pile, which is a Kevlar tube which is inserted into the ground, and the Kevlar tube expands from 3 centimetres to 330 millimetres, and this provides an element of load transfer and a deep consolidation to the soils.
Our organisation provides two basic products and services. One is to stabilise loose ground, which is an alternative to more traditional forms of underpinning, and the other is to either stabilise or re-level concrete ground-bearing slabs.
For 2 decades now, we have worked for many local authorities and many leading loss-adjusting companies. We see ourselves working hand in hand and in partnership with these groups.
Munters is known in the market as a quality-conscious company with superior expertise in the field of humidity control. With its long experience and technical know-how, Munters offers a substantially higher level of competence and application know-how than its competitors in its green approach to business. A brief history of the Munters organisation is fascinating. The founder, Carl Munters, was an inventor in the last century who was mainly unrecognised and not fully appreciated, and yet in his time, during the 1920s, he invented the gas refrigeration process, he invented plastic formation, and indeed he was sensationalised by Albert Einstein. Carl Munters eventually died in 1989 with over 1,000 patents to his name. Through his knowledge of thermodynamics, he invented a very highly efficient process of air treatment, harnessing nature's own principles of evaporative cooling and moisture absorption.
Innovation in technologies and how they are applied are key to enabling industry to create new business values while also benefiting people and the planet. Eco-innovation helps to enable this evolution through a combination of technological and non-technological changes that can yield substantial environmental improvements.
When Xog started business 30 years ago, we were well ahead of the game in that we were the only gas turbine compressor cleaning fluid supplier whose product was water-based. At that time, the competitors' products were all solvent-based. Now, times have moved on, and of course, what with the environmental regulations, everybody's more aware now that both from an environmental and from a health and safety point of view, that water-based products are better. But we've continued to stay ahead of the game throughout that 30 years.
Eurotech is committed to improved environment, and we believe that other companies should follow our lead and show that new technologies can in fact reduce environmental impact. We want other companies to also recognise that by using minimally invasive technology, this avoids landfill and environmental harm which results from mass disruption of materials in the ground. Eurotech leads the way in this technology. We want others to follow.
The type of energy efficiency solution that we implement will be bespoke to each application. Energy conservation is an integral part of our thinking, and as engineers it's our responsibility to try to utilise potentially waste heat or make our systems as energy efficient as possible. The core technology within our dehumidifiers is the desiccant rotor, and basic principle is that air is passed through the desiccant rotor, which in effect is like a honeycomb structure. Due to the differing vapour pressure, moisture is drawn from the air and impregnated into the silica gel rotor. The rotor is continuously rotating, and once it's collected its moisture, it rotates into the reactivation section, which is a separate airstream which is passed over a heater and typically heated up about 90 degrees C above its current temperature, and that then passes through the rotor and lifts the moisture from the rotor and discharges it to ambient. This is the biggest consumer of energy within our dehumidifier, and some of the ways that we can implement energy efficiency solutions is to incorporate potentially Munter's patented purges within inside the rotor, and also utilising waste heat for that heat source of heating the air. If, for instance, there's a CHP system, we can potentially capture some of the waste heat and use that to heat the air in the first instance, reducing the energy consumption of the system.
There are some difficulties that we find in educating people about the environmental benefits of polystyrene. There's just so much misinformation out there, so many misconceptions about expanded polystyrene. So we have to think a little bit outside the box. So we do things like that, which is printing messages on our products about the environmental benefits of foam. We produce flyers, we produce posters and leaflets. Our salespeople try to educate our customers about the real environmental benefits of using expanded polystyrene as a food service disposable.
The key environmental objectives a business must address is how it has its impact on the environment with the products that it actually manufactures. We're very focused here that we meet the legislation. For example, the OSPAR agreement, which is the Oslo and Paris agreement, that any products that go into the North Sea must meet stringent environmental conditions. For example, there is a leak or anything like that, there is not going to be an impact on the environment. All companies have a responsibility to ensure that they work to those guidelines and meet